Hey guys, Gameboy3800 here once again, and today I have another laptop review. This is of the Dell Precision M6400. As always with my laptop reviews, I go over the exterior first, and this time, full aluminum chassis, and it's nice and bright orange, and it looks really nice. Although it's not very tough, as you can see here, it can get dinged up. They had another one of these at the place that I got this, and it had some really bad deep scratches, and it can also get dent, so it's not very tough, but it does look pretty. Next up are the ports. You have a DVD writer here. It could be a Blu-ray writer or a Blu-ray reader. Here you have a PCMCIA card slot. You can tell this is old because of that. SD card slot, power lights here, 2 USB 2s, you have headphone, microphone, a full-size 1394 Firewire, which is actually very rare to see on a laptop. On the back you have the power jack and nothing else except for some venting. 2 more USB ports, and one of them is a eSATA USB combo, and the one right above it is a USB power share, so that you can charge your phone or iPod or whatever while the computer's off. Speaking of phones, my phone just dinged. Old VGA DisplayPort out, which is actually kind of surprising for this old of a machine. LAN, you have some sort of card slot there. That might be a PCI Express card slot. You have a wireless toggle switch and a Bluetooth button here, which I somehow enabled even though the machine's completely off. Whatever. Opening it up, the hinges are stupidly tight, as you can tell. And the keyboard is full size, and all the keys press down very nicely. Mouse and little thumb pad up here work just fine, although I don't like how they each have the third button, so if I'm clicking around I'll often accidentally click the center button and not the left click. As judged by the sticker here, it's got an Intel Core 2 Extreme quad-core Q9300, which is a 2.53 gigahertz quad-core processor, overclockable if you have the right BIOS for this. I was not able to find the overclocking BIOS, so I was not able to overclock at all, which is unfortunate. But I've had something go on, made it so I actually had to underclock something. More on that later. The speakers are up here, power button here. I feel I should mention the bottom, because it's got a docking bay. Yes, you can get a docking station, so you can have more ports and options. Others here, it's got a little light to show how much charge it's got. And a little thing to lift it over. One hard drive is here, and there's another one under here, and it's screwed in by 2 little knobs there. That's important because the memory is also under there. It takes DDR3 memory, only like 1033 megahertz though, that's the highest it can go. There's also some memory card slots under the keyboard, so if you have like a thin screwdriver or something, you can get it under this side, lift up the speaker bar, you have to unplug the power button, but then there are 4 screws underneath this that let you disconnect the keyboard by simply pushing it up, and then you can get to the memory underneath the keyboard. So this can hold up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. That's pretty impressive for this old system. Even though it's Core 2, it's still Core 2. You don't expect a Core 2 to hold that much stuff. But without further ado, let's power up. This is a 1920 by 1200 display. It's also full RGB. So that gives it super accurate color. Super accurate colors. I forget what it's called. Color accuracy. There we go. This has a 160 gigabyte hard drive, which isn't that much nowadays, especially considering you can get like 512 gigabyte SSDs for not cheap, but relative to what they were a couple years ago. And you do anything on the keyboard, it lights up. Although the spot here where the keypad and bigger keys are, like enter and backspace, the light doesn't shine through as much, which is unfortunate. And it's a hard drive, so it's not going to be booting up super quick either. But I'm just showing you the boot process so that you get a real world expectation. As you can probably see there, this is running Windows 7 Ultimate 64-bit. And updates, yay, it's probably going to need to restart too. Yep. I'll see you when it's at the desktop. Alright, while it's rebooting up, I figured I'd show you something I don't normally show. You can probably see it in the reflection there, but power adapter. Yes, this takes the massive 350 watt power adapter. Or it could be 300, I don't know. It could take the regular 220 adapter, which is the much slimmer version of this, but they only had this available. You kind of do need it if you have the right hardware in here. And you also need it if you want to get anywhere near the maximum performance that this thing can push out. Because even though it's from late 2009, early 2010, it's still got a ton of power. It's probably going to have to do another reboot. How many updates did this do? Oh, okay. I'm having to lift it up off the ground a little bit because the fans need to get in air. And as for the error sounds, I have no idea what that is. Probably nothing. Let's hope it's nothing. You probably can't tell on the camera, but in real life, 1200p plus RGB is a real treat. As you probably can or probably cannot see from the extension, now you can. This is carrying a Quadro 3700M. And then you can see up here the CPU and 8 gigabytes, and then battery power. I showed you the Quadro because this computer plus that version of the Quadro equals not a fun time. Mainly because if you do anything intensive like 3D modeling or gaming, what this machine was designed to do, it will just black screen and crash. And I read up on forums and like on Dell support stuff that it's because the AC adapter plus NVIDIA don't like to get along very well, and they were never able to find out why. But I have found a solution. Using MSI Afterburner software, which is something that can overclock, or in this case I had to underclock the video card so that it will stay stable. Yeah, I had to bring it down by 50 megahertz and the memory down by 25 megahertz. It doesn't hurt that much performance, but still, it's something you really shouldn't have to do. So, without further ado, I don't have any games installed on this, but there's one thing we always do. This can show you how good or okay the speakers are. The speakers are not great, but they're good for what they are. I should probably find out if there are like some Realtek drivers or something better than the stock speaker driver, because they're not that great. At loud volume they kind of crackle. I need to find a better driver. So when in doubt, use Google. But that's pretty much it for this review. Overall, nowadays it's Core 2, so kind of outdated. It's also got a older Quadro, and they have a newer versions of this. The M6800 is the newest one, I think. That's got the newest Core i7 in it. But if you don't want to spend $2,000 like Dell wants you to, then you can get the M6500, which is the same computer as this pretty much, just with the first generation i7 thrown into it. And that's what I would suggest you do if you are planning to get a computer like this but don't want to spend $4,000 on one. Yeah, IDT. Yep. That's it for this video. Thanks, Game Boy Out. See you next time. I don't know when that'll be, since school is starting up quite soon and stuff. I'm working hard. Yep. Thanks, Game Boy Out. See you next time.